All right, good evening. I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith with an update here on a lot of our streaming platforms and on our Fox 10 weather app, as well as fox10tv.com and a number of different outlets here. Just wanted to give you a deep dive on what's happening with Tropical Storm Helene, which is located in the Northwest Caribbean Sea tonight, and it's getting stronger. We're in Storm Tracker alert mode here on Fox 10 News because we are going to see a hurricane crossing the eastern Gulf of Mexico this week. It could be a major hurricane, a very large one, but it may be just to the east of our forecast area with the more significant impacts. But we could see dangerous rip currents across our part of the Gulf Coast. And if we look at that beach forecast, you can see the readings, rip current risk very high Thursday and Friday. We'll have some swells. We're going to have a northerly wind. We may see showers on Thursday. Friday looks like a sunny day, but we still have that rip current danger. So let's talk about impacts from Helene, and I'll bring it up full for you here. We expect minimal impacts in our local area, but once you get over past Panama City, that's where we're going to see very significant impacts, anywhere from around Apalachicola and in the Big Bend area and all the way back around to Tampa. And the model's trended a little bit further eastward, so it looks more and more likely that this is not going to be a direct threat to us, but the Big Bend's going to see the big surge impacts, and it's going to be a very, very large hurricane. So what does that mean? Well, if you remember Hurricane Katrina, you could fit 2.5 Hurricane Camille's inside one Hurricane Katrina. Katrina was a monster. This storm's going to be in the 90th percentile, so it's going to be a very large tropical system compared to what we normally see. A bigger hurricane will have a wider impact. It'll have a broader wind field, so it's going to affect more than just one or two locations. It looks like Florida's west coast, really from about Naples or Tampa northward all the way up into the Big Bend, could see tremendous impacts. We'll have some breezy conditions here, but I'm not expecting to see rough conditions in our area. And this is the water vapor loop, and it shows a little drier air over the Yucatan, but the system's able to wall that off pretty well. It's in an area where we have favorable upper level winds, and so there's not going to be a lot to slow this thing down. In fact, it's most likely going to strengthen as we go through the into the week here, at least through Wednesday into Thursday. There's a huge upper level ridge that's going to be sitting over the Gulf. It'll be a light wind shear environment. There's high oceanic heat content, and with an upper trough approaching, it's going to get a little baroclinic boost too. So it's got the green light for rapid intensification, unfortunately. Helene is a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm. It is moving to the west-northwest at 12. This is the 7 o'clock advisory. Pressure is 991 millibars, so it has deepened 4 millibars from the last advisory. And as the pressure falls, normally the winds go up. This thing's getting its act together very quickly, and it's just to the southeast of Cozumel. It may come pretty close to the Yucatan as a Category 1 hurricane, and then it will begin to swerve and move more to the right and track more northerly and northeasterly as it crosses the Gulf of Mexico. And there's two different factors that are weighing in on the steering flow with this one, and it's a high confidence forecast. So we believe it'll take a track pretty close to what the cone is suggesting here, and in the cone would be anywhere from about Cedar Key, Florida, back to Panama City. But keep in mind, where that center crosses, there are going to be impacts well away from the center, especially on the east side of the circulation. We're on the west side of the circulation, so we're not going to see the big impacts here. And these models are showing different outcomes from Port St. Joe and Cape San Blas all the way over into the Big Bend area around St. Marks and Steinhatchee area. So, this thing is going to have a big impact on a sparsely populated portion of the Panhandle coast. There are not a lot beach houses and things once you get past St. George's Island. The Big Bend area does not have beaches just because the Gulf kind of transitions directly into the marsh there. But there will be some communities impacted, and it's going right up through Atlanta as a tropical storm. Storm surge values are going to be incredibly high with this one, especially in Apalachee Bay into the east of the center, where the storm tides could reach 10 to 15 feet above normal, and that's pretty terrible storm surge there, so not an ideal scenario. It is moving very quickly, which should help get this thing ashore without it building up as much surge if it was a slow-moving system, but it also will catch a lot of people off guard. So a bad deal with storm surge up into the Apalachee Bay area, Horseshoe Beach, Cedar Key, and even down towards Tampa. We may see storm tides 5 to 8 feet, so we could see some significant coastal flooding into the central part of Florida. This is what the model is saying it's going to look like, and I'll bring it up full so you can see it here. This is as of Wednesday at 6 p.m. and this is the graph version of the Futurecast. I think it has a really good handle on it. Probably have a pretty good hurricane going at this point on Wednesday. We will see the system begin to turn more northerly and then northeasterly up into the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, where it's going to be close to landfall Thursday evening. It may be early Thursday night before it comes ashore. Of course, this timing can change a little bit because of wobbles and jogs, but this has been the thinking that it's going to be a Thursday night thing for Florida. And the heaviest rain band should be just outside the forecast area if it takes this type of a track. So I don't think we'll see much rain out of it, but we will get some showers because of the upper trough. Most of that will happen tomorrow. We have a 70% rain chance on Thursday, but that's because the upper trough and the front that's actually pushing this thing away from us, that's actually going to help the situation. It'll give us a little bit of rainfall, but it'll help keep the system away from us. As far as warnings and alerts, we're not under any type of tropical storm warnings. We do have a tropical storm warning up for one county over east of our forecast area. It does not include Walton County. It's Bay County. That's Panama City. Then we get hurricane warnings for Apalachee Bay. So what's causing this thing to go the direction that it's going? Well, all right, so the upper high, which is located, let's see if I can get the pointer tool up here. I don't know if I can do that and telestrate on this. Let's see if I can go over. All right, so this upper high right here is going to be the primary steering mechanism, and the wind flows clockwise around that high pressure area. So you see those blue arrows, that's what's making it go northwest right now. The ridge is backing off though because we have this low that is moving in. This is an upper trough, okay? And so as that low moves in, it's pushing the high to the east. So that's going to change the steering flow of this thing. And the low will begin to take over, and the flow pattern will be a little bit more to the north-northeast. So you can see how that low swings in and the high backs off. That's going to allow this thing to turn more northeasterly, and it could become a major hurricane. It's basically going to be absorbed by that upper low. Once it comes ashore, it will get pulled into that upper low, and the remnants will kind of fizzle out over Tennessee. But here's what our local situation looks like. We are in Storm Tracker alert mode on Thursday and Friday because of rip currents, but we don't expect big direct impacts from the system. 70% rain chance tomorrow, not related to Helene, but a front coming through. Scattered showers, so 50% chance on Thursday as Helene brushes past us. It could be a little breezy too. Friday, a nice day, a high of 84 down to 66 Friday night. It'll feel great for anything you have planned there. And the weekend looks quiet, Saturday and Sunday. No rain around, and highs in the mid to upper 80s. So that's an update on Helene. We'll keep watching on Fox 10 News. I'll also have updates on our Fox 10 weather app and more updates to come as Helene continues to intensify as it's crossing the Gulf of Mexico. Thanks for joining us here on our digital platforms.